Hi, my name is Katie Moyer. I'm a Beachbody Live Master Trainer, so I train people to teach the Beachbody Live format. So maybe you just went to a P90X Live certification, maybe you went to a Turbo Kick Live class, Pio Live, or Insanity Live, and checked out the new Size Live certification. But the best thing about teaching these formats is that you are excited, right? You go to your training and you're super excited and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get started? And that's probably the number one question I get after a training is, okay, I got certified, I love the format, now how do I get started? And I want to tell you that there's no one right way to get started. You just have to start. If you haven't read the book by Jon Acuff called Just Start, you should. It's a great book. I don't care what you start, whether it's a brand new business or whether you're going to start teaching group fitness classes. It is such a great book to just give you the confidence that you don't have to do anything more than just start. And how are you going to start? Here are 3 quick tips. So number 1, you need to research your area and also take a look at where do you want to teach, because there might be a gym that's 30 minutes down the road and it'd be great to teach there, but if you're going to fight traffic, is it really going to be worth it? So maybe there's a community center just down the road. Maybe there's a school that you can teach at. What about a dance or karate studio? That is going to be way more important, because when you start teaching, consistency is key. It takes 6 to 12 months to build a class no matter what. So if it's a time slot or somewhere where, it's not convenient for you, it's going to suck, but you might have to say no, because if you're going to be subbing it out every single month, you're not going to be a valuable instructor, because you're always going to be stressing out the group exercise director. You really will. I know that even when I sub a class out, I'm stressed to the max until I get it covered. So I can't imagine what a group exercise director or manager would think, or how much stress they have. But if it's a club that you're dying to teach at, that's great. But if it's not going to work for your schedule, or you're going to have to sub a lot, it's not going to work. So make sure when you do your research, you research on the places that will fit into your current life and make it not just convenient, but something that you will commit 6 to 12 months to teaching there and being there every single week at that time. Now, there's always going to be those rare occasions where, yes, you need a sub. Absolutely. But it's got to be at a time where, generally speaking, you can be there 8:30 a.m. on a Monday no matter what. It can't be 5:30 p.m. and you're like, well, sometimes I have to take my son to soccer and sometimes I don't get off at work at 5 o'clock. So no, then you have to say no to that class. So research your area, figure out where you want to teach and why you want to teach there. That's probably even more important. But then number 2, once you have figured out where you want to teach, you definitely need to research that club even more, look at their group exercise schedule, and decide how your Beachbody Live format is going to help and how that is going to complement the current group exercise schedule. So if you go in there and you say you have to have Insanity Live on the schedule because it's this, this, and this, and you need me, that group exercise director is probably not ever going to respond to your email and or never talk to you again. But if you go in there with the idea that, hey, I looked at your group exercise schedule, I saw that you do a lot of mind-body classes and a lot of stretching and balance and things like that, and I think that's great. But you don't have a lot of cardio classes. You have one boot camp class, but I teach this format called Insanity, and I was thinking that it would help and complement your group X schedule because of A, B, C, D, E. What do you think about me trying it out? Would you let me audition? Would you let me interview? That has such a different ring to it than, hey, you need my format on your schedule. Yes, we know that our formats are great, right? We got certified in a format that we probably love. So I get that urge to say, well, you don't understand, this format is so great. It is great, but you have to show them how your format's going to add value to that group exercise schedule. Every single group exercise director and manager that you'll ever meet, you have to realize that they're very, very busy and that they are stressed to the max. They get the emails of the mic didn't work. This person complained about my class. The music was too loud. The front desk said this, I mean, I have tremendous respect for group exercise director. They do so much more than we think, and they get all the nasty emails. And then when someone needs a sub and they can't find one, guess what? It's probably them that have to step in and figure out what they're going to do for that class. So I've never been a group exercise director, but I can only imagine that it's a very stressful job and that they're maxed out. So when you go in there to interview, or when you go in there to get their email to call them on the phone, know that they're busy and they might not respond to you. And it's not that you want to overwhelm them. I'm not going to tell you email them every day until they respond. Don't do that. But it's okay if you email them and then it's been a month later and you still haven't gotten anywhere. Email them again, or take the initiative. Remember, you are kind of like your own business owner now. You're a Beachbody Live instructor, and so maybe you need to go and try to network with the group exercise instructors that are there. Maybe you need to network with the people that go to that club. Maybe they are really close friends with that instructor, and even if they could just pass your name on, that would be helpful. So it's not necessarily always talking directly to the group exercise director first. Maybe you need to do your research and maybe even just drop in on a class. Maybe you can even drop in on that group exercise director's class and introduce yourself live and in person. I mean, that goes a really, really long way, because now you're showing initiative, because there's a lot of people that say, oh yeah, I want to teach. And then they finally get to it and they get signed up. And again, they're teaching at a time slot that doesn't work for them. And they cause the group exercise director more stress than anything else. And they want to know that you want it. So if you can get to their class and take time out of your day to get to their class, introduce yourself after class. And I'm not saying introduce yourself and then say, you got to have PYO Live on your schedule because of this. And you got to add P90X because this class is awesome and you need me. Don't do that again. No. Go in there, introduce yourself, and just say, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself because I'd really love to teach at your club. I love your group exercise classes, and I'd love to be able to help and teach classes for you. So is there any way that we could get together soon and just talk about the steps to be able to interview or audition? That is going to be a lot better received than anything else. So those are just some quick tips. If you know where you want to teach, then go try to find that group exercise director, but maybe get outside the box on how you kind of figure out how to get in contact with them. And then third, always be willing to offer teaching a free class. So I actually started making this video because there was a woman yesterday at my PYO training who was like, I'm so excited because I decided that I'm going to teach for 2 weeks for free because I'm so nervous about being able to offer this perfect class. And first of all, I'm not perfect, and I never will be, and I've been a master trainer for 5 years. So first and foremost, I told her, you know what, you're never going to be perfect. So just letting you know that now. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but you got to get over that. People follow passion, not perfection. I say it all the time in my trainings. However, I think it's great that you're offering the free classes because you get to get your feet underneath you, and you don't feel that pressure. So relax. Like, all you're going to do is go and teach. You're going to think of one thing you did great, one thing you need to work on, and you're going to move on. And that just kind of spurred this idea. I'm like, that is such a great way to not just get your name out there, but if a group exercise director maybe needs a sub and they can't find one, or they're thinking, oh, it'd be really great if you could team teach with this person always needs a sub, could you maybe go and teach with them, and then they can give feedback to the group X director and see if you're a good fit for the club. So be willing to teach for free to get into a club, because I know I had to do that. Now, I was very young and I didn't really understand the group exercise world, but I still think that was such an integral part of the reason why I got to get onto a lot of group exercise schedules as a sub right away, is because I was willing to teach for free or fill in for a sub, and that was my audition. I really wasn't very like, no, I need to get paid right now. And I'm not saying that you don't offer something of value. You do. However, sometimes if someone does not have any idea what PYO Live is, they have no idea what Turbo Kick Live is, or they're like, Size Live, oh, that's a new format. I'm really not sure that my classes are really going to like that kind of dance format. Say, that's okay. I'll teach for free. How about we do a fun, free happy hour class, and then your members can give you feedback about if they like the format or not. I'm still teaching size classes all over the place, and some of them are for free, but you know what? There's a bigger picture here. If I can get more and more people to experience this class, I guarantee you they're going to get hooked. I guarantee you they're going to ask their club for my class, and guess what? The circle of life continues, and more people are going to want your class, so then you become in higher demand and your marketability goes up, and eventually, again, it's like karma. Like, it'll come back around, but offering that free class doesn't devalue anything that you're doing. It just gets you started. It gets your foot in the door, and that is a huge tip, and I think that's an awesome tip. So the person that came to my PYO training yesterday, you know who you are. Thank you. It was a very insightful moment for me, whether you knew it or not. And I appreciate that, because honestly, the reason why I make these videos is because people ask me the same question over and over and over again, or I hear something at a training, I'm like, I'm going to make a video about that. And that's what I was thinking, because everyone always asks me after a training, how do I get started though? Like, I just got trained and I want to teach tomorrow. And I love that enthusiasm. And I do tell everyone at my trainings, guess what? You know what the best way is to get better at teaching? You just go teach. How do you get better at being an Insanity Live trainer? You just got to go teach Insanity Live and figure out what you know and what you don't know. However, I understand that sometimes it's going to take a little bit of time to get in there. So if you are signed up for a Beachbody Live training, hey, guess what? Maybe already start to research your area. Do tip number 1. Maybe you're already going to try to connect with the group exercise director and or the group exercise manager and go to those classes and really already start to network now, so that once you go, you can already have that contact with the group exercise manager and say, hey, I just got certified. And then number 3, offer a free class to teach so that you get your foot in the door. I hope those tips help, because I love when I meet people at my trainings and they go in and they dive in 2 feet first and they go start teaching and they inspire the world, because I do love our Beachbody Live formats. I think they're awesome, but you have to do the work and you have to be willing to put in some time and effort to get started. Getting started isn't easy, but if you read the book by Jon Acuff, all you need to know is you just have to start. So go start being a Beachbody Live instructor. And if you found any of these tips helpful, please subscribe to the channel or comment or post below. And if I did forget something, hey, I'm not perfect, like I said. So please post below. I would love to hear what you think. I would love to hear any other tips on how you got started with a Beachbody Live format or any other group exercise format. But go out there, go teach, and thanks so much for watching.